5 marriage mistakes that killed Senzo Meyiwa, right? I know. Wait. Before you come for me, well, I am not saying the ones that took his life, they are now exempted from facing the full mighty of the law. That's not what I'm saying. But in all or under any circumstances, there is always a lesson for you and I to learn. Today, I want us to take this journey where we engage in what is called or termed as five mistakes that led to Senzo's demise. And the funny part is that nobody's talking about it. I also understand that it is part and parcel of the South African or African culture that we don't talk ill of any deceased member. It makes a lot of sense, but some of the critical lessons lies there, and hence today I took the initiative to talk about these 5 marriage mistakes that nobody's talking about. And one of them is the fact that why did he chose Kelly Khumalo? Because had it not that he chose Kelly Khumalo, you know what I'm saying? And had it been that he chose to stay with Mandisa, today we would have been speaking a whole different ball game altogether. He has been faithful on the football pitch, but not on the other side. Yet nobody's talking about that. That is what I want to talk about today. So, are you interested to get into this journey with me? If you are, then please stick around. As you stick around, there's only one favor that I'm requesting from you guys, and that favor is that you subscribe, you like the video, and you do comment in the comment section below. Why do you need to do all of these nice things, good people? Well, you need to do it because, doing it does help out a lot when it comes to the YouTube algorithm to promote and spread this video to as many people as possible. So definitely, good people, the power here is in your hands. Please exercise that power in favor of this video. Guys, good people, you need to watch this video until the end. You need to like the video. You need to comment in the comment section below. Why do you need to do all of those things? You need to do it because doing it does help out a lot. It helps the YouTube algorithm to spread this video to more people so we can add more tribe. So that we can add more tribes into our local. So I have to read some few things before we dive into this video. Right. This article was released by who's this guy? Solomon Upshoms, who wrote this article. And I need to get into this one as well. He says, "I love football. I am a huge fan since the time immemorial. I also know that football is all about mistakes." Hey, right there, that first paragraph. I also know that football is all about mistakes. We need to take on right there. We need to take it right there. He then says, defenders or goalkeepers need to make mistakes before the opposition is able to score a goal and win a game. Look, it's the same thing with our lives, romance and marriage and relationships. Do you have to make a mistake in order for you to learn from such? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes you need to learn from other people's mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily need to be or to make such a mistake so that you can learn from other people's mistake. I don't know if I'm making a sense. I don't know. But let me dive into this man. You know what I'm saying? Let's just have this man speak for himself. He continues to say, soccer players, husband and fathers of 3 girls. Soccer player, husband and father of 3 girls. Senzo Meyiwa made some marriage mistakes outside of his soil stuff. The football field which I felt contributed in bringing an end of his great and passionate individual. He says, For the record, Senzo Meyiwa met his wife Mandisa Mkhize in January in 2005. Sorry, they got married in 2013. Barely a year later, he was seen cheating with singer Kelly Khumalo, a bit without Mandisa's knowledge. Okay, that's where our problems start. That's why today we have to talk about what we are talking about, because of that. One mistake, just one mistake. Well, I wouldn't say it's one, but let's assume at this moment it was just that one mistake. Guess what? That mistake has ended his life. I know. In fact, I promise you, 5. We are not even on number 1, but we're just on the introduction. It says a lot, and that's why I couldn't deny, or I couldn't ignore the introduction to the article. You know what I'm saying? Until we get to the number 5, look at the 5 marriage mistakes that led to his demise. He then say Mandisa later found out a saga in short, with Kelly assaulting Mandisa, and Senzo went back and forth between the two over the past year, and recently went public with Kelly by his side. Are we surprised he was murdered? Are we surprised by his murder while he was with her? Well, we were not surprised, but it's infidelity. Okay. This is the very same Senzo who professed his Christian faith publicly, has read, has Bible scripture all on his football hits, etc., and never ceased to glorify God for every victory. Right. His wife Mandisa told newspaper he is a real believer and he reads the Bible every chance he gets. I love his dedication and commitment. He is my hero, a real sweetheart. But what happened to a real sweetheart? One that reads the Bible. One that's assumingly he was in the path of the Bible. It just took a mistake. One mistake. Guess what? Gone. This is not about condemning Senzo, but rather learning from his marriage mistakes. I've already mentioned that. He then says, life and family. Senzo, like all of us, struggle with sin. His was a sin of adultery, and it gradually led him to his deathbed. Sadly, he could have avoided this death if he had rejected making these 5 marriage mistakes. Had he, according to the article, avoided these 5 marriage mistakes, he would have been alive. Do you agree or disagree? Don't worry. I know. You're probably saying, "Oi, bongs. The number one mistake, according to this article, lack of self-leadership killed him. What is self-leadership that is referring to here? Let's hear the man himself. He says, on the football pitch, Senzo was both captain of his football club, Orlando Pirates, and the country Bafana Bafana. He was a great leader, but from home front, he wasn't proficient, and unfortunately, now I'm not just talking about leadership through providing financial, emotional, and social needs of his wife and 3 baby girls, which he did with great result. But leading by example as a husband and a father in a country that is seriously lacking in this area. We are all aware that his own father had to bring him back, had to bring him to book regarding this issue. So there was constant, maybe, let me try to defend the man, maybe fame was getting to his head, you know what I'm saying? Like I always say, guys, too much options sometimes is dangerous. Having too much options, sometimes it's very dangerous, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking to myself to say, maybe if fame was getting to his head, hence he made such a mistake. Because of that, he had to be constantly brought back and say, hey, Baba, hey. Girls are not going to take you somewhere. You got broke, these people are going to leave you. So you better take care of yourself. So I'm just thinking to myself that fame, because fame makes everybody wants you. It's a fact. But number 2 says, lack of integrity killed him. Now they say Senzo himself confessed to have lack of integrity after his wife found out about another woman, Kelly Khumalo. He said, this is all my fault. I lied to them, Kelly and Mandisa. Whenever integrity is missing, it hurts everybody connected to you. I approached her, Kelly, and she asked if I'm married, but I wasn't a man enough to tell her the truth. As a result, she fell in love with me. Now, okay, she fell in love with him. Then 5 months later, she discovered that he is married. What did she do about it? We'll get into that point. But I'm glad we have ironed out this one, that he confessed, I lied. That sets Kelly Khumalo free as far as this context is concerned. You know what I'm saying? Number 3, they are saying lack of faithfulness killed him. Kelly only found out he is married 5 months into the relationship, by which time his wife had also heard about the affair when a colleague showed her Kelly Khumalo's Instagram account with the so-called photos of them both. Being a Christian himself, Senzo knew the importance of faithfulness to one partner as a husband, but he failed to implement it. His wife said, when I saw the pictures of them looking cozy, I got the shock of my life. I was heartbroken. I cried hysterical. I called Senzo and I told him to respect me as his wife, but he denied having an affair with Kelly Khumalo. Now, do you remember that? Okay, let me bring this aspect here. You will remember Popola was busy telling us that why is Mandisa not investigated? Reading this article and zooming into this one, do you think this, by looking at this, do you think that Mandisa was intimidated by the fact that Senzo Meyiwa is dating another famous person? Maybe do you think that she had an imposter syndrome to say, I don't belong, or he doesn't belong to me, he belongs to a high class, therefore I must leave him alone? I don't know if you see what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Do you believe that Mandisa might have called the heat because of she felt like, you know what, Senzo Meyiwa deserves to work with the stars, you know what I'm saying? With the singers, with them famous people, but not her. Do you think that would have pushed Mandisa and motivated Mandisa to call the heat, as Popola, the public figure, would have suggested to you? Get into the comment section below about that. Remember, we still have the last point. What's the last point? The last point is side chick Kelly Khumalo. I know everyone has been blaming Kelly Khumalo, but don't see how I don't see how she solely had solely be held responsible for his infidelity. But then she is partially responsible for it. Isn't take two to tango, right? No problem. Kelly's colorful past doesn't help people's opinion of her anyway. But for allowing herself to play the role of mistress after discovering his marital status, she indeed contributed to the demise. Don't get me wrong, she didn't pull the trigger, neither did she. But you see, man, let me tell you this: we are on number 4. I still need to read number 1. We're not saying she. Today we are learning something, because when the article was written, it was written just before we could learn the things that we learn under Judge Ratamo Kgotleng. So I understand when they say she didn't pull the trigger, because had they had the information that we now have, they would have spoken a different language. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, point number 5. Remember, I said 5 mistakes. Point number 5: not learning from the past. Mandisa was recently quoted in the Sunday Times as saying, "I'm glad my husband is back home. I'm loving every moment. Senzo is a good man who loves his family. I support his career, and we are now closer than ever. However, a few months ago, Kelly revealed on social media that she was happily involved with the father of her second. Right, Senzo Meyiwa met his dad, still married to Mandisa, and in a relationship with Mistress Kelly Khumalo. The good thing about our mistakes is we become victorious and overcome them whenever we make our mind whenever we make our minds not to go back. None of these 5 marriage mistakes pulled the trigger on Senzo. Now, I like this one. None of these 5 mistakes pulled the trigger on Senzo. But what is this man saying? Because remember, this is not my intellectual property. Let's get into this one. He says, the trigger was pulled by some heartless criminals who didn't value the life and the lack of respect for humanity. But these 5 mistakes surely contributed to Senzo's demise. I want to read this one. None of these 5 marriage mistakes pulled the trigger on Senzo. The trigger was pulled by some heartless criminals who didn't value the life and the lack of respect for humanity. But these 5 mistakes surely contributed to Senzo's demise. As we mourn the life of a legendary Senzo Meyiwa, we are all as men, going to continue to seek for another relationship outside our wives? Or are we going to do that? That's the question. Are we going to say, do not judge because only God can judge, like me, Tupac says? Are we going to keep destroying our wives, children, homes, as we seek for sexual gratification elsewhere? I feel Senzo was even there. Senzo even there. Look, I know people are gonna kill this guy. You know what I'm saying? They don't wanna hear what is saying there. But I've given you this 5. What's your take? Are you impressed about what he said, or are you're not impressed at all? Get onto the comment section below. I wanna hear from you guys. What do you have to say? I gave it to you like what the men said. Get into the comment section below. Tell me what you think. I'll see you on the next video. But until then, please take care.